good morning, good morning. It is April 26th, 5:30 or 9:30 or 8:30, sorry, Eastern Standard Time, depending on which coast you're at. All right, so what we're going to cover today, the market ripped higher yesterday. Wow, it was an amazing, amazing rip. We actually have to look at the facts today, and we actually went up about 96 points off that $4,200 level on the XPX. Something we can't not ignore. So, key question today: what happens today? Do we head up? Do we go lower? Uh, I think we launched the start of the macro companies out there, macro tech, starting off today after the bell, I believe. So we're going to be taking a look at those as far as earnings, the earnings season. What's up, James? What's up, James? How's it going? All right. So let's just check it out. Let's start off right now. Anything in the news here? So Barron's, we got the Dow futures down. Not much, just very little, just hanging in there. Crude oil slightly up. The 10-year note is up. So yesterday we rallied off of this 96 points for a couple of reasons. One is when we look at this 10-year note, it pretty much dropped yesterday because let me expand this a little bit more because I have the other ones here. Here we go. The yield, is that the note? The treasury bonds, right? They actually went up. Bonds went up and the rates went lower. So bonds actually went up. They went up like more than usual. And this is the first time this has happened, and this is why we went higher because it kind of signaled to the market that inflation might be peaking. So don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, that's one of the reasons why we went up. At the same time, volatility went down. But let me just jump into it and see if we can identify what the strategy will be for today. So let's take a look. Let's just go into here. Okay, so let's look at the overall markets. Right now, we rallied off of this $4,200 level, as I said yesterday, pretty nicely. Did we get some follow through today? I think key level is going to be 4,300 on the XPX. See if we can get through. Does it break through and start going into maybe 4334, or does it kind of linger here and then collapse? We don't know yet. MACDs are still going down, but those are going to be delayed. NASDAQ rallied too nice. Did we get follow through here? We don't know. Possibly, maybe not. We'll see. And also the Russell follow through here. So just want to point this out. I know I mentioned this yesterday that from the highs of the XPX down to right here, we've only been down about 14%. So far today, we managed to cut it's only down about 10%. Unfortunately, if I were to measure this on the NASDAQ already has declined pretty significantly, about 22% so far. And yesterday we recovered a little bit, about 19%. So we already hit that 20% mark. And the Russell has already declined about roughly 22%. And yesterday we're roughly around this 20%. So roughly you get the idea. The XPX is lagging on percentages drop, but again, the NASDAQ and the Russell has dropped pretty significantly. All right, as far as what do we look for today, everything kind of looks still bearish on the downside, but do we keep going higher, and how high do we go? Don't know what that was about. But if we look at the futures right now, overnight action, we did bounce off this 41.94, went up to the 50-day moving average as suspected. Key question here is what happens today. So we found this balance range. I have this 43.10 alert up here. If we break that, I believe we could go higher. But again, don't know what's going to happen. I'm very, very curious. We have about almost an hour. Markets really haven't done anything in the last pretty much overnight. Really just been hanging steady, which leads you to believe it hasn't really sold off So what are they waiting for at the cash open? So could we, oh, we're starting to sell off a little bit. Does it come back down and form a basing pattern, right? 4,200. Or is this a continuation, right? So does it, we had the first time we touched the 50, breaking down, and this is a viable entry for a continuation to go down. And does it go down? Might go down short-lived and then come back up, form a basic pattern, break up too. So don't know. There's a couple of options here, but there is an opportunity here, either up or down. We like it exactly at the 50-day moving average. Market is moving right now. So again, we're having more momentum building to the downside here. Not ideal where I like it on the 15-minute time frame. So it's telling me that this might be maybe short-lived. So they're taking it down into the open. That's okay. Let it do that. Might be short-lived. Okay, so maybe they'll take it down to 42.50. Let's see. But they're taking it down right now. So some news just came out. Okay. Overall, right now, if we're to open up 42.69, that's going to put us at 42.79. We're slightly a little bit higher, right? Lower right here. And again, we're coming to a squeeze. Is it going to continue lower? Don't know. And this could probably come back down if we go back down to here. We're squeezing. This is not going to really open or give us any traction until the open. As far as the VIX is, we sold off, so a lot of fear got dissipated. What happens next? It looks like it probably wants to go a little bit lower, maybe to the 25% range. And then what happens here? So I think the market is just waiting on what the bond market is going to do today. And ultimately, it's going to come down to, we do have a few earnings report coming out today. I'm just reading what Anya wrote here. It's funny. We have a few earnings reports here. Let's see what happens. I think UPS came out. PepsiCo came out with good earnings. JetBlue. The biggest one's going to be Microsoft today after the close. Alphabet, Visa, Chipotle, Texas A&M, which is chips. So it's going to be right in here after the bell. We're definitely going to see what Google's going to announce and see what they have to say. But let's see. But right now, if I'm looking at things, let's see, we're at 42.70. We are selling off, and they're coming back, buying it again here. So things are going to change, right? As far overall what the market's doing, everything came back to the 50-day moving average. Do we have follow through here? Google broke through this 2,400, got bought, and went up as high as 2,450. Is there going to be a day two? Be interested to find out what happens with Google here. Amazon rallying here, so let's see. Could it be forming a basing pattern? Does it have a day two? So key level to watch is 29.22. And on Google is going to be 24.65. Tesla, right at that 1,000 range, 10.09 is going to be key level to watch if it's going to break up. ISRG squeezing, CMG. Let's see what happens at the bell. They're announcing today, so let's see. Netflix squeezing really isn't doing anything. Roku. Again, like Roku, they're going to be announcing earnings. I really don't suspect Roku going any higher. NVIDIA trying to regress. Mercado Libre rallying a little bit. Apple, basing here. The one that I want to look at is Shopify. Shopify just really didn't do anything. This is very unusual behavior for Shopify. I never seen Shopify just kind of linger at a price point here. So with Shop, pretty interesting. It takes out 448. It can probably go lower, but just really, really unusual behavior on Shopify. All right, so what am I looking for today? Obviously, let's look at the spiders. SPY is pretty straightforward to me. There is some selling coming in early at 429, which is close to that 430 level. 430, I think is going to be pretty astronomical. I like it here at the 50-day moving average right here. We're selling off already pre-market. So momentum looks like I'm going to watch it at 541. I'm going to see maybe we're probably going to be lingering back into these levels here. Maybe go back down to this 4,200, possibly on SPY. And that's going to put me maybe here in this 420 area and rebase here. So maybe like a consolidation pattern. And when I'm noted by consolidation, we're just kind of going to be going sideways here. You know, boom, 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 until one of these levels breaks. That's my suspicion moving forward today, that we're probably going to be in this sideways consolidation. Okay, so that's until we break out. It looks that's what's developing for today. So there might be some opportunities here for you if you take advantage of that. But yeah, so spider, sideways consolidation, the 50 days coming down. This is coming to the end here. So pretty much easy. It's either going to be a continuation and we break higher, we break this 430, and then possibly go into these levels 431 and 436, or do we break down and start heading down to this 420 level? Pretty straightforward. As far as the Qs, if you're trading Qs, again, I think it's a straightforward day. Qs need to break 330. You know, there's some, definitely they try to take it up. So there is I mean, look, again, same type of thing. Could be a continuation pattern. If we break zero, that means we'll break the 50 and we could go higher, maybe retest 335. If this starts breaking down, then we're probably going to stay in this range here, right? In this range between 330 and about 321. So it's around 9 points there on Qs, same type of thing. So we're selling off into the open, but this is probably going to be short-lived. They're probably going to bring it back up at some moment in time before the open. So IWM, and I think we're probably going to see the same thing on IWM. So IWM, same type of thing. Again, pretty straightforward at these pivotal. We're not going to get these V-shaped recovery unless something really, really changes. But again, we have to be a contrarian thinking. You know, this could be a basing pattern in formation. So we're trading between 194 and 189. So this only has about five points, right? So levels to watch, 194 and 189. And I think that's until we break. Easy there. As far as Google, I know they announced today, so let's look at Google. Google is pretty much, I mean, it's sold off. These guys, at the end of the day, despite of what we think of Google, they have made money, a lot of money, right? So, but the last earnings that they killed, it went up and it sold off in the next 5 days. So key question, what's going to happen this time? I don't think that they're going to stop make money. I think they're probably going to do very well, but they're going to be looking at how has the Russian-Ukraine war affected their revenue stream. And that's pretty much, I think, what investors are going to be looking at or concerned about. So, because we already know that that's kind of affecting Netflix's. So with that in case, you know, this is just a lotto trade today after the bell. I did like it here at the lows because I think that investors, I mean, this is not, this company actually makes money. But it's been downtrending. So I think that there's two ways to play this. You can either get them at the bottom range here. If the market starts ranging, this is probably going to come back down. And I'd be more inclined to buy calls here, right, for a play into earnings, right, at the lower range here, because more than likely it's been sold off. Any bad news at this level has been priced in to the stock. If the stock is higher, I'm not going to be buying calls because what if the bad news is not priced in? So that's how I'm looking at for Google if you're going to play earnings. Now, the other thing is, let's say you wait till tomorrow. Implied volatility is going to be crushed a little bit on Google. And you know that if it gaps higher, the last quarter, there's not a lot of good news. It'll probably sell off. So that's another way you can play it. Or you can play both sides. But I'll be watching Google to see if I'll set an alert here at this. If we head lower, I might be intrigued to buy some calls just for a lotto trade. So that's how I'm looking at Google. Um, Now let's look at Microsoft. I don't trade Microsoft. Microsoft, same type of pattern as SPY, Qs, and IWM. I think we're going to be in this range. Want to buy at the bottom range at 269, same as Google. These guys also make money, and they also just came out with something about a new revenue stream for their cybersecurity. Okay, so again, at the bottom range for a lotto trade, possibly. But again, now that we're seeing the same patterns and correlation between the spiders, Qs, and IWM, I think it's impermanent that if we see these rallying, more than likely SPY, Qs, and IWM are going to be breaking up to the upside, right? Because we're seeing the exact same patterns in these mega cap stocks. Okay, so right now somebody's coming in and buying it. So again, just keep this on your screen. If you start seeing greens, you can use my indicator that I have. If you want access to that, let me know. I'll give you access to it. It tracks the 5 stocks. If that's green in the first hour, then we're probably breaking higher, and the SPY can go higher. If it's red, we're probably going to go lower. Pretty simple approach. Microsoft. All right, what else we got? We have CMG, because that announces today. And CMG, not a mover, breaking out a little bit. This will be interesting to see what they say at earnings, because I believe that these guys will be affected a little bit more than usual. But I mean, they rallied nicely, 1445 up to 1500. That's a pretty nice, significant rally yesterday. But we rallied off that too, off of the S&P 500. Shopify. All right, so let's look at Shopify. This is unusual behavior right here for Shop. I mean, it's just kind of, I've never seen it do that way. So again, why is Shop not being bought? It's not being bought. And it's not bouncing. So it got sold off at this 475. Can Shop go lower? Let's look. In my humble opinion, it looks like Shop probably wants to go lower, right? I mean, 302, holy cow, 302, 400. Ooh, don't know what's going on with Shop, but it's not looking pretty good. Again, so I haven't seen Shop like this in a long time, but there's no, again, watch it. Just this price action is very unusual for Shop. Looks like it probably wants to go lower. If it breaks 448, it's got 400. It's probably going to go. Just FYI. So that might be a lotto trade if you want to throw a lotto at it. Look at the 400 puts either this week or next week's if you want to add a week. I've been liking adding a week because, especially on my SPY calls, because it gives me, if you're trading a range and you're not in it for like I'm going to hit a home run, you can be right on both plays if you get them at key pivotal levels. All right, so that's all there is. That's all I got. So I mean, I do like here. I'm going to be watching Shop. If it breaks above 475, then I'll look at it. But right now, I like Shop to the downside. Roku, we are playing that for earnings. So yesterday in the chat, we talked about Roku went up, and I like it up. So you want to buy puts when it goes up, right? You want to buy puts when it's up here. I don't want to buy puts when it's down here. So that's kind of like, it's different than a newbie and someone who's been doing this for quite some time. So if we had a thesis that we discussed in class, how is Roku? Are they making money? I don't think they're making money. We saw Netflix came out saying that they lost some subscribers. If they lost subscribers, we're going into summertime, what is Roku going to do to make money? The last 2 quarters, the CEO himself said he doesn't know how they make money. So again, how are they going to make money? So we have a lot of selling pressure on 103. Again, we got to know where they're selling it, 103. Because if that becomes a buyer, then that becomes a buyer. But they do announce earnings, I believe, Thursday. So when it goes up, I definitely want to buy puts for earnings on this. It's a lotto trade. I could be wrong. But based on the facts that I'm looking at, I'm thinking they're not going to do well. Because now, how far down does it go? I don't know. That's why I wanted to go up higher. So again, we did get this rally up here, just like everything else. 103, so I'll be watching this very closely. As far as Tesla, not moving. Again, 1009 is key. We're just going sideways here on Tesla. And Twitter, guys, I know a lot of guys been texting me about this Twitter action. I'm not going to buy Twitter. And let's talk about Twitter, guys. So here's the deal. The price for Twitter is $54.20. That is the purchase price for Twitter. So why would anybody want to buy Twitter to make what? You're $51.76. $54.20 is the purchase price. So it doesn't matter. Why would anybody buy it above $54.20? Because if the deal closes, you're only getting $54.20, right? Like, you're only going to get $54.20. So you can buy this stock currently as it's traded on the market for $60, but when Elon buys this stock, the offer price was $54.20. So that's what you're going to get. So you're going to be operating at a loss. So this is not the play. If the deal doesn't close, then this is the highest offer, the highest bid. Then Twitter could probably not it'll go to $30. Like, so the play is not to the upside. The play is to the downside. But again, there's other better plays out there than Twitter. I mean, I like Twitter. I'm happy that he bought it. But the play is not to the upside. That's the news. Again, you play the rumor, sell the news, and the news is already out. This is done. This is done. So there's not really anything here. All right, let's go back to SPY, and then we're going to be done. At 6:53, I like them short, sweet. SPY, pretty simple, guys. On board, on screen, I'm going to have my usual suspects. I'm going to have the 440 calls for 2 weeks out. So any plays I have, these are expiring May 6th. Those are what I'm going to be looking at. I'm always going to be looking at 2 weeks out. It looks like we're going to rally here because it was short-lived, just as I suspected. I don't want it to rally too much. Just kind of, if it stays in this range, and then that's great because we can see what is going to happen. I don't want it to rally too much. I don't want it to go down too much. I just want it to kind of stay in this range, and then at the open, I want to see it pop. So again, just want to take action here, but I think I have it on the E-minis. If we break this 443.11 on the ES, I have it alerted there. I think we can go higher. And basing pattern going higher, and then we'll see it's rallied up right now. But on the SPYs, again, I have the 4100 the 410 puts, May 6th, and the 440s. I'm going to be looking at those two for potential plays. I'm already hedged to the upside. I don't have a hedge to the downside yet, because I got out of those yesterday. So again, just going to be looking and seeing. All right. That's all we got, guys. Go out there, go get it. Pretty simple, easy day today. What I mean by easy, we're in a range. Let's not make anything out of it. Just simplify the process. It looks good so far. It's just a waiting game. Go out there, get coffee, do some 10 push-ups, sit-ups, whatever you got to do. I am here adjusting to this time. But all right, guys, if you like this, press like, subscribe. If you want to join the Patreon group where I give out the levels every day. And then we actually had a few good hits at the weekly coaching sessions that we do. We provided Shopify, we did Tesla, and I think we talked about Roku this week. All right, guys, go out there, go get it, stay green, bye-bye.